Leading 61-59 in overtime. Boyce off the bounce, counted, and the foul down the left lane line. Alyssa Boyce with 16 points, and the Brockbusters have their largest lead of the second half, 63-59. Boyce hits the free throw to stretch it to 5, and then Ariana Hall having that big second half. We're playing in overtime. Hall at the top, down the middle, right-hand floater is good, rails it in. Hall with 18. Hall's floater made it a 5-point game. Garden City built their lead to as many as 7 in the overtime. They made it 7 thanks to Deja Ross. Ross has yet to hit from the field, brings it across the 10-second line, sets up Boyce. Rainbows a pass from McGee up top. Watched by De Silva, who slides her feet. Pitches wing right for Ross. Wing to end line right against Cook and lays it in. That's the first field goal for Deja Ross, and it might have put this one on ice with 50 seconds to go in overtime. 73-66, it looked that way, but Russell hits a 3 for Northwest Tech, and then a Brockbuster turnover leading to this. Garden City clinging to a 4-point lead, but they turn it over on the inbound, stolen by De Silva. Tech down by 4, De Silva straight on 3 and banks it in. And it's down to 1. 73-72. Blockbuster lead all of a sudden is at 1 with 10 seconds to go. Then on the other end, Hall misses the second of 2 free throws after she made the first. De Silva grabs the rebound, hands it off to Russell, who is then called for a double dribble. Bellany follows after Northwest Tech commits a foul, knocks down 2 free throws. And just like that, the game's over. The Blockbusters come back from 10 down to win it in overtime by the final of 76-72. Final game number is brought to you by Virtus Motors. Blockbusters shot 42% on 25 of 59. They were 4 of 18 on threes, 22 of 27 at the free throw line, and 5 offensive rebounds, 26 turnovers tonight, 12 assists. Alyssa Boyce led the way, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 7 of 18 from the floor, 6 of 8 at the line. Hall scored 16 of her 19 of the second half. McGee had 16 points and 4 rebounds, her 5th double-figure scoring game this year. Bellany had 11 points and 8 boards. Deja Ross with 4 3-piece for Suarez, Tudela, and Pajau. Bellany ties her season high with 8 rebounds. Tech shot 38%, 28 of 74. They were 7 of 23 on threes, 9 of 17 at the foul line. Rebounds even at 38 apiece, 9 offensive rebounds, 22 turnovers, 13 assists, 22 points for Jada Russell. That's a new season high, 9 of 23, 7 rebounds. Vieira fouled out with 20 points and 4 boards. Santasia White had 14, and De Silva 11 points and 11 rebounds, her second double-double of the season. Tech loses, they go to 8-17, 4-13 of the Jayhawks. Garden City improves to 9-17, 4-13 in league play, and they snap a 6-game losing streak, and they tie Northwest Tech for that final tournament spot coming out of the Jayhawk West. Take a break, we get you set for game 2, which comes your way next on 99.9 The Rock. Back at Conestoga Arena, courtside here in Garden City. Mike Pilosoff, Brockbuster women winning in overtime in the first game. Now it's time for game two. When you talk about critical postseason positioning, the Brockbusters right now sit in 6th place. The team they're facing, Northwest Tech, has 2 impressive wins in conference play. We'll get into that here in a second. But the ramifications of this game, if Garden City loses this game, they are in danger of missing the Region 6 tournament. Northwest Tech comes in at 4-19. If you remember back in the 1960s, they have what's called the Heidi game. That's where the Jets and the Oakland Raiders are playing on TV, and the game was interrupted by a broadcast playing the movie Heidi. Well, the other night against Hutch, Northwest Tech, in the second half, the scorebook took away 2 points from Hutch when it was clearly an error. Hutch ends up losing by 3 in overtime, so that will go down as the scorebook game. It's been a crazy year for Tech. They've been one of the worst teams all year, but right now they can still make the postseason tournament if they come into Garden City tonight. Brockbusters are reeling. They've lost 14 out of 15 and 7 in a row. Let's get to the starting lineups tonight. First for Northwest Tech, visitors from Goodland with a record of 4-19, 2-14 in conference play. First, Ian Hardy, 6'5" freshman from Lilburn, Georgia, 13.7 points, 5.7 rebounds. Keyshawn Kennedy, a 6'4" freshman from the Bronx, 6 points and 2 rebounds. CJ Rosser, 6'2" sophomore from Lynchburg, Virginia, 9.8 points, 3.5 rebounds. Reese Warren, who had a huge second half in that upset win over Hutch, 6'3" sophomore from Colorado Springs, 12.4 points and 3.5 rebounds. And then Garrett Richardson, a 6'8" freshman from Sacramento, 4.5 points and 5.2 rebounds. The head coach in his second season is Nathan Padilla, who is 19-36 coming into tonight. Starting lineup for Garden City. Derek Bryant starting at the point guard slot, 5'8" freshman from Detroit, 2.8 points per game, and that's obviously of note because Caleb Favors is out and probably out for the remainder of the season with a hand injury. In fact, he's got a broken bone in his hand, so they don't think he's going to come back, which obviously means it's Bryant the rest of the way. Traylon Spencer, a 6'8" sophomore from Fort Worth, Texas, went 0 for 10 from the field the other night. He's averaging 14 points per game. They're trying to get him back on track. Malik Chavez, 6'2" freshman from Arlington, Texas, 20 points and 5.5 rebounds. Deshaun Woods, a 6'8" sophomore from Frisco, Texas, 7.3 points per game. And then rounding out the starting lineup for Garden City is Mikey Frazier, a 6'10" freshman from Salt Lake. Head coach is Patrick Nee. In his second season, his team is having, well, this program having one of the worst campaigns in recent memory. Traylon, check that, Mikey Frazier jumping it up for Garden City, and it's Northwest Tech controlling the opening tip. And they are moving from right to left. The Mavericks, 2-14. It's been an abysmal season for them, but they've kind of righted the ship the last week or so. Here's Reese Warren to the block, and he hits a fall-away left block over Mason Osborne, and Warren puts Northwest Tech up 2-0. 30 seconds gone by here in the opening half. Brockbusters come back left to right. So Mason Osborne left wing, defended there by Warren. Up top for Frazier, wing right for Bryant. Chest pass for Chavez, who hit 6 threes against Hutch at 31 points. Frazier, righty hook is good. The right block, and he puts it in over Garrett Richardson. Ties the game at 2. 19-12 on the clock here in the first half. Frazier played really well against Hutch on both ends. Driving and a missed layup that time by Keyshawn Kennedy. Loose ball to Chavez, ahead of the field. Osborne lays it in low right. Garden 4, Northwest Tech 2. 18:55 to go here in the first half. Brockbusters' lone conference win since November was in Goodland a couple of weeks ago against Northwest Tech. Reese Warren around a screen from Richardson. Left slot rejected by Frazier. Warren gets it right back. Another chance for Tech. Shot clock at 10. At the top, it's Ian Hardy. Whips a pass, wing right for Kennedy against Osborne. Wraparound layup is good with the left hand. Ducked underneath the rim to tie the game. As I bring back in Nick Salazar, who left to go teach a class. Appreciate you rejoining us.
Jack of all trades tonight.
That's impressive. Game tied at 4. Garden City has it left to right. Chavez, step back, straight on 3 is in and out. And C.J. Rosser with his head above the cylinder, the rebound for Northwest Tech.
I'm not sure it's as impressive as you trying to run the board. Get all these kids organized to do stats.
We're trying anyway. Hardy missing a jumper. Offensive rebound, Warren for Northwest Tech. And we have a turnover on the Mavericks there first. They average 18 giveaways a game, so we're tied at 4. A little over 2 minutes gone by in the first half. Rockbusters beat Northwest Tech back on January 18th, 88-69. They exploded in the second half.
Was that our last win?
That's the last win. In fact, that's only the second win since November. Deshaun Woods knocks down a turnaround left end line for Garden City. Rockbusters 6, Northwest Tech 4 with 17:39 to go in the half. Rockbusters 3 of 4 from the field to start the game. Left wing, it's Keyshawn Kennedy, watched by Talik Chavez. Garden City in a man-to-man. Kennedy around a pick to the rim, going against Frazier, and lays it in and 1. Right lane line for Kennedy, who has 4, and we're tied again at 6.
High ball screen action there, and the Busters appear to have switched it. I can't tell yet if that's what they're trying to do. I don't know that switching Mike Frazier onto a guard is what you want to do.
That's what Northwest Tech wanted them to do.
Certainly.
You'd almost saying, to this point in the year, and it's, might sound like a knock on Frazier, he's been a defensive liability as Kennedy completes the three-point play to put Tech up 7-6. Rockbusters have it left to right. 2.5 gone by first half. 7-6 Tech. Bryant wing right, defended by Rosser. Entry feed overplayed by Richardson, and a Rockbuster turnover. Talking about 2 of the teams towards the bottom of the conference when it comes to turnovers. Garden City averages 16 a game. Mavericks at nearly 18.
Now where are these 2 teams in the standings, Mike?
Towards the bottom. Northwest Tech is in last. Hardy circles all the way around from the left elbow to the right block and then misses a layup. Dies on the back rim. Deshaun Woods the Garden rebound. Ahead for Bryant. Misses a teardrop in the lane off the back rim, and Richardson one-hands the rebound for Northwest Tech. 7-6, Mavericks up 1. It's Northwest Tech ball right to left. Hardy, the freshman from Discovery High School in Lilburn, Georgia, finds Warren left wing. He's the sophomore who played at Falcon High School in Colorado Springs. At 3 big threes in the second half, and that upset went over Hutch. Shot clock at 5. Rosser hides behind a Richardson screen, and his fires a left wing 3, and Chavez his second rebound for Garden.
So far, it looks like what Northwest Tech is trying to do is they're trying to score in transition off of secondary break. Primary break, you pitch the ball ahead. You get out and run in transition. Secondary break, you run a quick action. At about 14 seconds in the clock, they'll pull it out, and they will go spread, pick and roll. Again, trying to do what the women were trying to do, and that is create an opportunity for somebody to help off, and then hit a 3.
Meantime, Chavez has his shot blocked, that time by Kennedy. Out of bounds, and then Michael Frazier on the reset knocks it in from the left slot for Garden City. 8-7 Brockbusters, 15:52 to go first half, and Frazier is 2 for 2 from the field. 3 lead changes in the first 4 minutes. Missed jumper left end line by Mormon, who just checked in for Northwest Tech. Chavez gobbles up the loose change for Garden. Straight away Frazier, a 3 over Mormon, in and out. Chavez in there, battling the trees for the offensive rebound and sticks it back in. And then a 30-second timeout called by Patrick Nee. Blockbusters go up by 3, their largest lead in the first 4.5 minutes.
Good to see the guards down there rebounding, trying to do their part. Again, rebound, just making a hustle play and getting the putback. This is how a three-point shooter can get their blood flowing and get themselves really ready to score, by going in and getting some cheap ones.
As we step aside with the timeout called by Garden City, I was talking about Northwest Tech. Do you remember the Heidi game? Oakland Raiders, New York Jets, I want to say 68. Of course, you and I are basically the same age, but I wasn't alive for that, neither were you. But
not even close.
Northwest Tech and Hutch played about a week ago. Northwest Tech came back from 18 down to beat Hutch. That game is not known for that. Of course, it was an upset win. But in the game, there was an error, a major error in the scorebook that the commissioner ended up sending out an email to everybody the following day where they robbed Hutch of 2 points in the second half, and then Hutch ends up losing by 3 in overtime. So the Heidi game, and then you have the scorebook game.
Well, that happened to me, actually, when I was a first-year head coach at Monsanto High School. In the scurry that was the end of the game, the scorebook actually...
Rosser with an and one, little floater from the left slot for Northwest Tech out of the timeout.
The official scorer put 2 points that we scored for their team. We consequently ended up losing, I think, by 2 or 3. I can't remember. As I mentioned in the previous game, the old adage, though, as the referee told me, and that is, you know, what's in the scorebook is what's official.
Not all the time. Rosser is good. And you're right, it is official. I say not all the time because it doesn't mean, official doesn't mean right.
Yeah, exactly.
Both the free throw's good, the three-point play completed. Game tied at 10. We've had already 4 ties here in the first half. Frazier left end line, wraparound layup with the left hand on the right side of the rim is good. He's got 6 points, and Garden City's up 12-10.
Good start for him, but hats off to them, to the Busters, for running some action to kind of get him something on the block. A little cross-screen action, which Northwest Tech doesn't play exceptionally well. He gets an easy post-up, and he finishes, which is good news for us.
Warren head fake at the top, drives inside the arc for a deep 2, no. Warren grabs his own miss, kicks it out for Rosser, and a left wing 3 is good. That's off a second chance bucket, and Northwest Tech is back on top, 13-12, coming up on 14 minutes to go here in the first half.
Well, as bad as turnovers are for your offense, offensive rebounds are as bad for your defense, and the Busters guilty of giving up an O board there. Leads to a 3.
Woods misses a 3 on the other end from the top of the key for Garden City. Tech has it back right to left, up 13-12, 6 minutes into the first half. Kennedy at the top with Warren. Ian Hardy. Right corner 3, Rosser. Kind of feeling himself. That one way off. Mikey Frazier, the rebound for Garden, ahead for Derek Bryant. Bryant takes Kennedy off the bounce. Secondary break. Feeds Frazier a 3 straight on, no. Long rebound to Warren for Tech. Ahead of the field, this is Kennedy with a right-hand scoop. And Tech has a 3-point lead, 15-12.
I definitely think we should run some cross-screen action and get Mike another look inside. Prevent him from getting in the mode of beautiful pass.
Beautiful pass, but intercepted on the end line. Frazier looking inside for Osborne, knocked away and stolen by Hardy. Second Garden City turnover. So again, just the implications and the ramifications of this game. Garden City has to win tonight to keep their postseason hopes alive. Missed layup by Hardy, left block. Frazier the rebound on the outlet to Osborne, who's rejected by Kennedy. That's his second block. Offensive rebound, Bryant. And a loose ball foul called on Northwest Tech. So Kennedy has 2 blocks, 7 points, and 1 rebound to start the game. Foul called on Reese Warren. That's his first, and the first team foul on Tech. 15-12, Northwest Tech with a 3-point lead. Blockbusters have it. Bryant left of the lane between his legs. Underhand shovel pass left wing Woods. Chest pass Chavez. Left corner 3. Book it, and we're tied at 15.
He's doing what he does. Good look off of a little screen action out there to get him an isolated 3 in the corner.
Chavez has a really good chance of being named Freshman of the Year. He leads the conference in scoring. He's coming up on 100 triples made. He's got 91 on the year. Reese Warren around his screen. Kick it right corner for Northwest Tech. Now for Mormont. Right block against Samuels. Lefty hook is off the heel. And Deshaun Woods rips it down for Garden City. Tied at 15. Blockbusters with the ball. Woods an angle left 3 and got it. 6 quick points for the Blockbusters to go back on top. 18-15. We played nearly 8 minutes of the first half.
Nice smooth stroke there again. And Busters with a sandwich opportunity here.
So they get a 3 from arguably the best three-point shooter in the country, and then they get a 3 from arguably their worst three-point shooter on the team in Deshaun Woods. Hardy switching hands right end line with the left. Missed it short. Samuels has the rebound for Garden City. Blockbusters on a 6-0 tear. They've got it left to right. Chavez puts it on the deck. Saves a turnover. Bryant redirects Samuels. Left block against Mormont. Count it and 1. Samuels with a chance for a 3-point play. It's an 8-0 Blockbuster run, and their lead swells to 5.
Great pass from the perimeter. Derek Bryant finding someone underneath, and then equally strong, right? Steven Samuels goes up strong, gets the contact. Opportunity for a three-point play.
Mormon picks up the foul, his first, second team foul. And Samuels, when you were here last, is the king of the backdoor cut.
He is. I was going to say, when he came in, I said, we've got some niche players. You got Kyler Lamb out there to stand there, spread the floor, and hit threes. And you got Steven Samuels, who must be one of the best backdoor cutters
in the league.
In junior college basketball, exactly.
Free throw way off. Hardy the rebound for Tech. 20-15 Garden City, and then Tech turns it over on a travel right of the lane by Kennedy. That's the second Tech giveaway. 11.5 to go first half. 20-15 Garden. It's their ball left to right. Dressed in the home whites with Lamb, Chavez, Samuels, Woods, and Osborne. Kennedy, Warren with Justin Berry, Hardy, and C.J. Rosser, the 5 for Tech on the counter. Right wing Osborne for Garden. Chest pass quarter court left Samuels. Left side angle Chavez coming off a season-high 31 points. Third time this year he scored 31. But they lost to Hutch in a game they trailed by double digits most of the second half. Shot clock at 5. Wing to baseline left Lamb. Double clutch layup. Blocked from behind by Justin Berry. And he clears it to himself, and Tech has it back down 5.
Good aggressive take there. We haven't seen much of that from him. Thus far.
Well, you were talking about the niche player.
I was going to have to say, niche player no longer. Tyler Lamb strong to the rim.
Yeah, they're not listening to you anymore.
That's probably a good thing.
Shot clock at 10. On the take, Kennedy going at Chavez. Great defense by Talik Chavez to knock the ball out of bounds. And it's out of bounds, stays with Tech with 6 seconds on the shot clock. I had a chance to talk with Talik's stepdad the other day, and we were kind of looking at each other. The last couple of games, Garden City's gotten blown out. But if they didn't have Chavez and his big scoring, where would they be? They might have lost by 50. Shot clock at 5. Berry at the top of the key against Chavez. Timer at 3. Down to 2. Left wing Hardy tries to split a double. Runner no. And Traylon Spencer into the game. Grabs the rebound for Garden. Chavez to Osborne. Right wing to left block. And Osborne with a two-handed finish.
Good for Osborne. You know, he went up strong the last time and got blocked. And sometimes, as we've talked about, when you have people down there altering shots, that can affect players. And, you know, mentally, sometimes it can be tough to go right back up, but he does. He proves his toughness there and makes a really tough play.
Garden City on a 10-0 run. Northwest Tech scoreless nearly 4 minutes now. 22-17 Garden. Tech ball with less than 10 to go in the half and 5 on the shot clock. And Rosser is fouled by Kyler Lamb at the top of the key, and that brings us to the under 10-minute timeout. So 9:58 to go until halftime. It's Northwest Tech ball when we come back. Garden City has ripped off 10 straight points. They lead 22-15 on 99.9 The Rock. Out of the under 10-minute timeout, Alongside Nick Salazar, Mike Pilosoff, Hardy missing a straight-on three for Northwest Tech. Kyler Lamb, the Garden City rebound. 22-15, Brockbusters by 7. They've got it left to right. Backdoor Spencer to Osborne, shuffles his feet, right mid-post. And a turnover on Garden City, their third. But this first half, Brockbusters shooting well, 56%. They're running their sets, which you pointed something out on the last broadcast, and John Ford and I talked about this at Hutch, is they run something one time and then they never went back to it. Well, that was the story of the first half against Hutch. Second half, there really wasn't much continuity either, as Rosser missing a straight-on three for Tech and Mason Osborne, the Garden City rebound. 22-15, Brockbusters with a 7-point edge. 9 minutes to go first half. Garden ball left to right. Spencer, backdoor, finding Osborne, yes, and one. Osborne cutting along the right end line. And a pocket pass from Traylon Spencer and a chance for a three-point play.
Take there by Osborne. I mean, going back door, I mean, who does he think he is? Steven Samuels?
Yeah, I was going to say, what happened to Samuels? That's 12 straight Garden City points. Osborne, meantime, has the last 4, can make it 5 here. 71% free throw shooter. He misses. Naj Ashley Emery, though, the offensive rebound for Garden City. 24-15 Brockbusters in the midst of a 12-0 run. Up by 9 with the ball, 8:50 to go in the half. Ashley Emery feeds Frazier, right block, and instead of putting the ball on the ground, spins right, puts it up with the right-hand hook, and he draws the foul instead of turning it over. And that foul's on Justin Berry as first.
Good patience there on the block catch. Look. Again, another characteristic, young players, they want to catch, chin, and go. Actually, they don't want to chin. They just want to catch and go. Catch, chin, look, go. Putting that all together, reading the defense, being patient with the ball in your hands.
I mean, even saying that is a challenge. Frazier hits 2.
Well,
Trying to figure out which order.
I have said it a few times, obviously.
Trying to figure out which order to put it in.
Saying it and having your team do it are entirely different things.
100%. Both free throws good by Mikey Frazier. 26-15 Garden, 8.5 to go first half. 14-0 Garden City run. Northwest Tech has not scored in 5 minutes. Hardy for Richardson left slot. Shot clock at 8. Back for Hardy left corner on a Richardson pick. Punched away and stolen by Ashley Emery for Garden City. Going at Rosser. Misses a right-hand layup, right block, and he's fouled. And Ashley Emery a couple of free throws. And you kind of see why Northwest Tech only has 4 wins. They average 76 points per game. That's not a lot, obviously, on the men's side. They shoot a decent percentage, but they turn it over 18 times per contest as Ashley Emery hits the first of 2 free throws.
A lot of similarities between the Northwest Tech men and women, right? Like, same thing that I said earlier could be said about these guys, and that is, you know, there's nothing in their numbers that are frightening. You know, here's the thing, and that is, you know, right now, Virginia, at least last year, was sort of the class of college men's basketball. So you have teams that are, you know, slowing it down, grinding it out, quote unquote old school. But the thing that people forget is Virginia is fantastic on defense, right? Like, same thing, right? If you're going to run the ball and you're going to grind it out, you better be good on defense because you have to make your possessions count. So I think sometimes when you get these teams like the Northwest Tech men and women, they're grinding it out on offense, but then you have to be able to generate stops on defense, and when you don't, it's always going to be behind, right? Because you're holding the ball for long periods, long stretches of time, and then on defense you're giving up easy points. You can see how just logistically it doesn't work out.
Well, Ashley Emery hits 2 free throws, and then Garden City calls a timeout, so that's 16 straight points for Garden City. 8:16 to go in the half. 28-15 Brockbusters. And they put the clamps down defensively. Northwest Tech has missed 14 of their first 20 shots. They haven't scored in 5.5 minutes. And it's Tech ball out of the timeout. From right to left, they come back with Kennedy and Rosser, Hardy, Warren, and Richardson. Garden counters with Lamb, Emery, Osborne, Spencer, and Frazier. And Garden City drops, looked like momentarily, into a 2-3 zone. Wing right, Kennedy, sideline right. Chest pass for Rosser at the top, goes left to the foul line. Now for Warren, shovels it high post left side. Hardy against Spencer, partially blocked. Loose ball, right end line out of bounds, and it stays with Northwest Tech. barely grazed the rim.
I do believe Garden City was in sort of a matchy
zone.
Matchup 2-3. I thought they were in it earlier, but it turns out I thought their guards were just switching guard to guard. So it kind of looked like that. But
Emery swats a pass back to Rosser's face. Nice give and go. Richardson to Hardy. And Ian Hardy, who missed his first 7 shots, finally connects. First field goal for Northwest Tech in more than 6 minutes. Ends a 16-0 Garden City run. 7.5 remaining first half. 28-17 Garden City. It's air ball left to right. Lamb, Ashley, Emery, Frazier, Spencer, and Osborne. Tech and a man-to-man. Kennedy runs underneath the screen. Up top, Frazier on a pitch. Misses a straight-on 3. Rebound tipped into the hands of Reese Warren for Northwest Tech. Mavericks back right to left, down by 11. Kennedy slices from the left wing of the right block, and he draws the foul. And a couple of free throws now for the freshman from the Bronx, who led his high school team, Middletown, all the way to the state finals as a sophomore. And they played in that prestigious Tournament of Champions where they get all the best teams in the New York and New Jersey area, and they all play in this big tournament. Karl Anthony Towns, who's now at the Minnesota Timberwolves, one of the notable players that's played in that tournament, as Keyshawn Kennedy hits the first of 2 free throws for Tech. It's a 28-18 Garden City advantage.
we had some success recruiting New York. You know, Denaja Scott,
Yep.
who's now playing overseas. She was from that area. You know, prior to that, we had a player named Ashley Goodlow who was here with Coach Sharp from that area. But it's been a little while, I think, since the women have had anyone from the New York area.
A lot of Texas players. 1 of 2 at the line for Tech, and then Spencer missing off a Euro step, a runner left mid-post. Rebound Hardy, who tries the Euro step on the other end for Tech, and he travels. That's the James Harden Euro step.
I mean, trading banjos, trading Euro steps, right? Like back and forth.
4th turnover for Northwest Tech. Garden City, meantime, has 7 assists on their 11 made baskets.
I mean, that was an example of Euro stepping when there was no need to Euro step, right? Just go to the
one-on-one,
rim.
yeah.
Just go straight to the goal.
10-point Garden lead. They've got it up 28-18. 6.5 to go until halftime. Chavez left wing against Kennedy. Wing to baseline left. Beat him off the dribble and lays it in with the right hand.
Easy to straight line when, again, Garden City has pulled their bigs high, which really, really messes up your ability to help and rotate, and that's what happens.
Largest lead of the first half for Garden. It's an 18-3 Brockbuster run. They're up by 12. Meantime, a moving pick at the top of the key on Garrett Richardson for Northwest Tech. That's his first. Their 15th foul and their 5th turnover, and Garden City has it back, leading 30-18. A little over 6 minutes to go in the first half. And look, this is a game Garden City should win. They blew them out the first time. If you want to keep your postseason hopes alive, got to win this game. And then of vital importance is the matchup Saturday at the Student Activity Center in Dodge. Bryant across the 10-second line for Garden. Frazier wing right, hands for Chavez around a Frazier pick. Chest pass for Woods. Extra pass left slot now for Bryant against Rosser. Pull up 18-footer, rattles in. Great ball movement from Garden City.
Again, very patient on offense. I didn't like the shot initially, but that's one of those where if you make it, then it's hard to not like it.
20-3 Brockbuster run. They're up 14, 32-18, coming up on 5.5 to go first half. Warren left end line, the Colorado native. Wing left, he pitches for Ian Hardy. Just 1 of 8 shooting to start the game. And he fires a pass on the right wing for Rosser, who knocks down his second three-pointer. 32-21 Garden City, 5:24 to go. Rosser's been the offense for Tech, who's not a great three-point shooting team. They shoot 34%. Chavez up top against Kennedy. Moves right, dishes for Bryant. Right corner triple over Rosser was hit, no call. Missed the shot, slides off the left rim, and Hardy the defensive rebound for Northwest Tech. Mavericks down 11 with the ball. Richardson, check that, Hardy on the take. Right lane line, pushes it off the middle of the window and in, and a chance for a three-point play. So Hardy misses his first 7. He's knocked down his last 2, and the Brockbuster lead once at 14 is down to 9, 32-23.
Nothing ever good helps when you help. Nothing ever good comes when you help from the perimeter side onto the drive, which, I mean, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse because I think I said that quite a bit in the last game, but there's another example, right? Slides down from that corner, fouls. Let the rotation come from the backside, corner stick. Save save a foul.
Well, the foul was on Ashley Emery, and then free throw good by Hardy, and a timeout called by Northwest Tech. 5:02 left here in the first half. Northwest Tech has ripped off the last 6 from down 14 to within 8 on 99.9 The Rock. Alongside Nick Salazar, Mike Pilosoff back at Conestoga. 32-24, Garden City over Tech. Woods missing a mid-range hook shot in the paints for Garden City. And rebound off to Hardy for Northwest Tech. They've scored the last 6 points. Reese Warren, left wing 3 short. Derek Bryant, weak side one-handed rebound for Garden City. Brockbusters pushing. Chavez, left corner 3. Off the heel and a long rebound off to Fred Iana for Northwest Tech, and Chavez 1 for 3 from downtown. Iana with a little hesitation move to the rim and lays it in, and that's 8 straight for Tech, and they're back to within 6.
All right, just like that. Garden City was comfortable there for a minute.
Up by 14, the lead is 6, 32-26. Garden ball left to right.
That being said, I do think Garden City has taken some quality shots though the last few possessions, which hasn't always been the case, and so I do think they're still all right.
Frazier dribble handoff to Ashley Emery. Sidestepping his defender and lays it in low right. He's got 4, 34-26 Garden City. 3:45 remaining in the first half. This game was close early. Brockbusters then held Northwest Tech scoreless for nearly 6 minutes. Ripped off 16 straight points, built a 14-point lead. Tech got back to within 6. It sits at 8 now. And it's Tech ball right to left. Kennedy fouled right of the free throw line. And Garden City had 1 foul to give. That's on Chavez, his first. Chavez coming off another 31-point game. 31 points, 3rd time this year he's done that. He has scored in double figures 22 times, 15 20-point games. He set the school record with 3s with 9 against Barton. He's averaging 21 points per game in conference. And he's the leading scorer in the Jayhawk. Inbounds to Hardy, underneath, double clutch layup, no, and Frazier with a power rebound for Garden City.
Good discipline, staying straight up, walling up, and getting the rebound.
Ashley Emery cans a 3 from the left wing in transition for Garden City.
Good offensive sequence for him. Again, there's a sandwich. He had a score, he had a good stop, rebound, score again, stretch that lead back to 11.
Emery has the last 5 for Patrick Nee's team. 37-26 Garden by 11. Tech ball right to left, Mormont. High post left side, tries to bounce a pass on the shoe tops of Fred Iana, just left to the restricted arc, and it's, I think they said that was kicked off a foot of Garden City, so they reset the shot clock to 20. I actually think that was kicked by Northwest Tech, but what do I know? Inbounds to Hardy, who struggled from the field, just 2 of 10. He's got it left wing against Emery. Takes him off the dribble, and is fouled. He beats Emery to the rim, wing to baseline left, and missed the layup, but Ashley Emery comes draping across the wrist. Second foul on Ashley Emery, and 2 shots for the freshman from Lilburn, Georgia, who has 2 double-doubles this season.
Secondary defender. Again, Mike has been guilty before of not rotating over, and that was a case of that.
Hardy is 62% free throw shooter to the line. So Northwest Tech last year finished 15-17. The year before that, 18-13. Nathan Padilla is in his 2nd season. He's the 3rd coach in program history. This program started back during the 2012-2013 season as Hardy knocks down 2 free throws for Tech. 37-28 Garden City. 2:48 to go here in the first half. Garden ball left to right. Bryant Samuels Frazier, Woods, and Chavez. Chavez playing a lot of minutes here in the first half. Samuels, low post right, cross the lane left, turnaround jumper no from 5 feet. Tried to force that over Hardy and missed it. And the rebound off to Keyshawn Kennedy for Northwest Tech. Kennedy has 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 blocks. He's got it at the nail, going right to the wing. Retreats there. Woods stays with him step for step. Guarding a man-to-man. Hardy straight on 3, in and out. And a one-handed rebound by Mikey Frazier for Garden City. And Nathan Padilla, as soon as that shot went up, put his hands over his eyes. I guess that means he didn't want him to shoot it. Sideline left Woods for Garden. 37-28 Broncbusters. 2 minutes to go first half. Chavez looking for Frazier. Rainbows high post right side to the big man. Turnaround 10-footer and got it. Frazier's got 10. The lead back to 11. 39-28 Garden City.
That was a really good patient offensive sequence. Garden City moved the ball. It was very clear what they were doing. Looked very organized. And they get a good shot from a player on the block.
But, Nick, why can't they do that every game? Why does it take a lesser opponent to be able to do that?
Well, I mean, that's just, it's so difficult. You know, the example I would say is it's so hard to see the forest from the trees, right? Like, you know, we're sitting over here. We have the advantage of being able to watch these things without the pressure of wins and losses and all of the other things, right? Like, I've never felt so smart in my life. Funny thing is,
smart.
I haven't learned anything, right? Like, it hasn't learned anything new in the last 4 years. It's just, it's difficult to think clearly when you have stress on you. And, you know, these players, they do. They get into these games and the stuff that we see out here where we're like, why won't they just do this? That's the same thing that I'm sure both the men's and the women's staff say in film. But you know, getting them to do it is tough.
Fred Yana was fouled by Talik Chavez. It's a 1-and-1. That's the 8th team foul on Garden. Yana knocks down the front end. And I guess if you're Patrick Need, you show them film of each game where you run one offensive set, you never come back to it, and then you show them a game against Northwest Tech where everything seems to flow. I don't know why. I mean, I understand the correlation because you're facing a team that's got a losing record, but
sure.
Both free throws good by Yana, 1:29 to go. I just can't understand why you can't carry that over.
What we're talking about, though, really has very little to do with the opponent, right? Like, I mean, execution is about just consistency. And I think what you're talking about is just there's a lack of consistency.
And it's mind-boggling.
With this team, and it is. And it's just a difficult thing, you know, and to develop. And, you know, as I told you, I think that one of the things that I've observed about this group is that I don't know what their identity is on offense. You know, are they a post-first team? Are they trying to drive? You know, Northwest Tech women, which, you know, they are what they are, but I think it was very clear what their identity was, right? They were going to allow their point guard to make plays and to run push-kick offense off of that. And you've seen this team play every single game. What would you say is their offensive identity? What are they trying to do?
Well, that's the problem. I don't think we can figure that out because I don't have the answer to that. Woods hits 2 free throws on one end for Garden, and then Hardy misses a layup on the other for Tech. 41-30 Garden with a minute to go in the first half. And that's what drives this coaching staff nuts, because if you set up a play, are you a post-first team? Are you a three-point shooting team? Woods turnaround foul line jumper is in and out. And the rebound tracked down by Garrett Richardson, and he throws it off of Osborne, so the ball comes back over to Northwest Tech.
And yet again, we have a cheerleader on the sidelines who's just absolutely incomplete.
She's appalled the ball came over.
She's completely appalled that she, standing under the hoop, almost got hit by something.
41-30, Garden City by 11. Hardy into the paint. Absorbs some contact and floats it home. He's got 9. Garden 41, Northwest Tech 32. With shot clock off, 25 seconds to play in the first half. Broncbusters have led most of the way. We've had 5 ties and 5 lead changes. Most of that happened in the first few minutes of the game.
Big possession here. Again, down to the horn here at the clock. You want to, what are they going to run? Who do they want to have the ball in their hands?
Bryant to Frazier, left wing 3 off the heel of the rim. Rebound Yana for Northwest Tech. Final seconds. Down to 1. Hardy, 3/4 court off the mark on a 3. And that's the end of the first half. And to answer the question, Frazier misses an open 3. He's been off the last couple of games.
So my question to you, Mike, is do you think that's what they wanted?
No, I do not.
I don't either.
I'd almost say that, if anything, they probably drew something up. If they were going to draw something up to where he's on the post, not on the wing.
I would think the same thing. That being said, I think you got to be pleased if you're Coach Nee and his staff. Good half, 41 points. Your offensive efficiency is good. You're guarding them well. What is there to complain about? You just need another half to replicate what you did in the first half.
And hopefully,
and you'll bring one home.
You can't replicate. That's been an issue so far this year. 41-32 Garden City at the break. Your Morton's halftime report is next on 99.9 The Rock. back on the Morton's Halftime Report. Courtside here at Conestoga Arena alongside Nick Salazar, Mike Pilasok. 41-32. Broncbusters with a 9-point lead at the intermission. First half game recap brought to you by Garden City Community College. The future starts now. This game was very evenly matched at the beginning of the contest. We had 5 ties and 5 lead changes in the first few minutes. And how about Talik Chavez, the guard, getting in amongst the trees for an offensive rebound stick back. Straight away Frazier, a 3 over Mormon, in and out. Chavez in there, battling the trees for the offensive rebound and sticks it back in. And then a 30-second timeout called by Patrick Nee. That put the Broncbusters up 15-12, but where the run started, the Broncbusters came storming back from a early deficit. 2 points, they were down by as many as 3 early on. In fact, they were down 15-12. It was 15-12 Northwest Tech. And that's when Garden City basically took the game by the throat. And this three-pointer by Chavez begins a 16-0 run. Broncbusters have it. Bryant left to the lane between his legs. Underhand shovel pass left wing Woods. Chest pass Chavez. Left corner 3. Book it. And we're tied at 15. One of 5 ties in the first half. So the Broncbusters now start this 16-0 scoring stretch that was emphatically punctuated by Steven Samuels. Broncbusters on a 6-0 tear. They've got it left to right. Chavez puts it on the deck, saves a turnover. Bryant redirects Samuels. Left block against Mormon. Count it, and one. Samuels with a chance for a 3-point play. It's an 8-0 Broncbuster run. That put the Broncbusters up 20-15. That run far from finished. Now it's Osborne's chance with the hoop and the harm. 22-15. Broncbusters with a 7-point edge. 9 minutes to go first half. Garden ball left to right. Spencer, backdoor, finding Osborne, yes, and one. Osborne cutting along the right end line. And a pocket pass from Traylon Spencer and a chance for a 3-point play. That put Garden City on the and one by Osborne up 24-15. So a 9-point Broncbuster lead and 16 unanswered points. Frazier hits a couple of free throws, as does Ashley Emery. And the Broncbusters at that point up by 13. They built their lead to as many as 14. And Talik Chavez showing he's not just a 3-point shooter. 10-point Garden lead. They've got it up 28-18. 6.5 to go until halftime. Chavez left wing against Kennedy. Wing to baseline left. Beat him off the dribble and lays it in with the right hand. That put them up 12. And then Derek Bryant giving Garden City their largest lead. Bryant across the 10-second line for Garden. Frazier wing right. Hands for Chavez around a Frazier pick. Chest pass for Woods. Extra pass left slot now for Bryant against Rosser. Pull up 18-footer, rattles in. 32-18 Broncbusters with 5:45 to go in the half. And then all of a sudden Northwest Tech makes a little bit of a run. 8 straight points to cut it down to 6. But Mikey Frazier had the answer. Sideline left Woods for Garden. 37-28 Broncbusters. 2 minutes to go first half. Chavez looking for Frazier. Rainbows high post right side to the big man. Turnaround 10-footer and got it. Mikey Frazier was really good in the first half. 10 points, 4 of 8. That put the Broncbusters in front 39-28. Their lead is 9 at the break, 41-32. Take a timeout. When we come back, get your first half numbers. Broncbusters by 9 at the intermission on 99.9 The Rock. Alongside Nick Salazar, Mike Pilasov, courtside at Conestoga. 41-32 Garden leads Northwest Tech at the break. First half numbers brought to you by Motors. Brockbusters shot 50% on 16 of 32. They were 3 of 11 on threes, 6 of 8 at the line, +2 on the glass, 18-16, 3 offensive rebounds. And they had 3 turnovers, 8 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Mikey Frazier, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 of 8, 7 apiece for Chavez, Woods, and Ashley Emery. 6 for Mason Osborne, 2 apiece for Bryant and Samuels. Northwest Tech, 11 of 31, 2 of 9 on threes, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. They were -2 on the glass, 3 offensive rebounds, 5 turnovers, 4 assists, 1 block, 2 steals. They shot 35%. Ian Hardy and CJ Ross were each with 9. Hardy, though, was 3 of 14. 8 for Kennedy. Yana had 4, and then Reese Warren had 2. Take a timeout, come back with some scores in the start of the second half. 41-32 Garden on 99.9 The Rock. Back on the Morton's halftime report. Alongside Nick Salazar, Mike Pilasov at Conestoga. Brockbusters up 41-32 over Northwest Tech. Out-of-town scoreboard tonight presented by Timeout Sports Bar. Around the conference on the men's side, Butler leading Independence 89-72 with about 4 minutes left in the second half there. Hutch blowing out Pratt 67-40 with 4:43 remaining in the second half. Coffeyville up 12 on Allen, 72-60. Colby is destroying Martin, 83-61 with 2 minutes to go. So that game was for first place in the Jayhawk West. I think we're getting our answer on that one. Women's scores from earlier. Brockbuster women coming from 10 down in the second half to beat Northwest Tech in overtime, 76-72. Cowley beat Cloud 67-61. Seward 74, Dodge 61. Colby sneaks by Barton 67-62 as Hutch a 34-point round of Pratt 75-41. Indy sneaking past Butler 68-60. In El Dorado, I might add, and Coffeyville routing Allen 74-55. That's your out-of-town scoreboard presented by Timeout Sports Bar. You see, you left the women's game, and then bam, they came back, and then they nearly blew a 7-point lead in overtime as Tech
I'm glad I left. Clearly, I was jinxing them in some way.
Of course. Now as we get set to start the second half, Garden up 9. What do you want to see from Patrick Nee's team?
I think the biggest thing is they've got to keep the pace. You know, that half, Northwest Tech had 36 possessions. Garden City had 34. Northwest Tech wanted to play faster. They're usually about 80, which means they're playing a little bit slower than normal. Garden City's kind of right on pace with where they've been. The interesting thing is Garden City's plus 18 in terms of efficiency rating, which is very, very encouraging, being as though they also really didn't shoot the three very well, which is a big part of their offense. So all that being said, I think there's a lot of potential for Garden City to put some points on the board.
Chavez off a screen, first possession for Garden City to start the second half, and he misfires on a three at the top as he was drifting left from the wing. And Chavez heading to the free throw line. So just underway second half, 41-32 Garden. Chavez, Osborne, Frazier, Bryant, and Woods for Garden. Richardson, Hardy, Warren, Rosser as Chavez takes the first of two freebies. I believe that's Fred Yana rounding out. Check that, Keyshawn Kennedy. So that's the five on the floor for Northwest Tech as Chavez knocks down the first 2 of 3 free throws, and it's 43-32 Garden City.
Garden City came out running something I hadn't seen them, me personally, seen them run all year. A little old school flex. Flex screen, down screen. Got Chavez. It's just, I mean, phenomenal, right? You get your best three-point shooter, an open look.
And he was wide open.
Wide open. Can be very difficult to guard if you're not prepared for it.
Rockbusters have been up by as many as 13. They're up 12 now after 3 made free throws by Chavez. 30 seconds into the second half. Northwest Tech ball down 44-32. Dribble handoff. Hardy tries to throw it down, and he missed the dunk in from the right wing. Deshaun Woods the rebound for Garden City. Chavez thought about the 3, pulls it down. They reset with Bryant straight away between the 2 circles, and he holds up his right index finger. Frazier at the top of the key goes right against Richardson. Underhand flip for Osborne. 3 dribbles chest high with the right. Shot clock at 10. Bryant for Frazier. Took an extra step on that step back 3, which did go down, but it traveled on Mikey Frazier.
Wouldn't you know, right?
Always happens that way, right?
the one that he gets in there is he travels.
Garden 3 for 11 to your point, shooting the 3 ball tonight. Frazier is 0 for 4. Tech ball from left to right with C.J. Rosser, sophomore from Lynchburg, Virginia. Transfer from the University of Lynchburg. That's a D3 school in Virginia. Rosser on a Richardson pick. A brick on a right elbow jumper. Talik Chavez, the weak side board, is 5th. Garden up 12, back right to left, and Chavez coast to coast, and he pulls up from 15 and drills it from the right side.
We could get him going offensively, starting to feel good about his game, then that could be the catalyst for this second half. Because like I said, I think you've got to be really encouraged with Garden City because their efficiency is, they're playing better offensively than they have all year. And they haven't hit the 3 ball, which has been a giant piece of their offense. So they can continue to play at the level they have been and then add the 3 ball.
Could be a 30-point route.
They could absolutely find themselves blowing this team out.
Rosser turns it over and then commits a foul for Tech. So Garden City has it back. That's the 2nd foul on Rosser, 2nd team foul on Tech. Rockbusters with it, up 46-32, 2 minutes into the second half. Bryant crossover, right wing to the left block, slips it for Osborne, jump past Woods, angle right 3, and an out.
Back to that flex action there. They didn't quite get the shot they wanted, but
Hardy, the rebound, goes behind his back for Tech, kicks for Warren, right corner 3 is off. Osborne boxing out inside for Garden City, has the rebound. And the Blockbusters in possession from right to left. He actually boxed out Peerless Brown, who's in for the first time tonight for Northwest Tech. Bryant quarter court right for Garden and the home whites. Defended by Rosser. Tech's in a man-to-man defense. Frazier straight away finds Chavez wing right inside the arc. Underhand flip for Bryant. Timer at 3. Up top Woods, head fake goes right. Back for Bryant. His 3 rejected from the right wing by Rosser at the shot clock buzzer. Rosser comes back for Tech from left to right, and a foul on Garden City, and that's on Derek Bryant, his 2nd.
Silly frustration foul there. Again, you could tell that coming down the floor that he was going to do something like that to try and redeem himself from that last possession on offense.
That was a good defensive possession for Tech. They are 2nd to last in the conference in points per game allowed. At one point this year, they gave up 124 to Cowley as Hardy muscles his way to the rim and lays it in low right. He's got 11 points, but he's been a volume shooter. He's 4 of 16 from the field, 46-34. Garden City by 12.
As being a volume shooter, that's
a hardened term.
I was gonna say, I don't think you meant that as a compliment.
No, not at all. Talik Chavez grabbing an offensive rebound off a Deshaun Woods missed jumper, and then Chavez knocks it in.
Feeling good. That's a good start for him.
48-34 Garden City, 16:30 remaining in the second half. This equals the largest lead of the night for Garden City. It's at 14. Left mid-post, a runner by Brown, and you can hear Patrick Neese screaming for a walk. I couldn't tell if there was an extra step. It sure looked like there was, but Tech pulls to within 12. 48-36 Garden City, 4 minutes into the second half. Blockbuster ball right to left. Woods on the block, left side. Turnaround over Hardy, no. And Rosser one-hands it. Left block for Northwest Tech. Woods is 2 of 8. Left wing quick pull-up 3 is good by Brown, who has hit the last 2 buckets for Tech. He's got the last 5 points, and it's a 9-point game now for Garden, 48-39. 15:48 to go.
Anytime you can get something like that, great secondary break.
Frazier inside on a feed from Bryant, low right, and lays it in for Garden City. He's got 12 timeout Blockbusters. They're up 50-39. 15:38 to go here in the second half on 99.9 The Rock. Alongside Nick Salazar, Mike Pilosoff, courtside at Conestoga Arena. 50-39, Garden City with an 11-point lead. It's Northwest Tech ball from left to right following the Blockbuster timeout. They have 3 remaining. On the floor for Tech, it's Hardy, Brown, Rosser, Richardson, and Warren. Hardy is 4 of 16. He's the only Maverick in double figures with 11. Brown has the last 5 for Tech. He handles right wing. Up top for Warren around a Richardson pick to the block against Frazier, and Frazier swats the shot, and Osborne has the loose ball for Garden City. Blockbusters up 11. They've been up by as many as 14. Osborne to Woods, right corner. He's just 2 of 8. Finds Frazier, a turnaround 15-footer. Off to the left, ricochets back right to Hardy, the rebound for Northwest Tech. Mavericks down 11. Hardy down the middle looking for contact and finally gets a call, low right. Couple of free throws now, and that's on Mikey Frazier, his first foul.
I'd really like to see Mike again, maybe back somebody down and power up to the rim. We know that the pull-up jumper, the fadeaway is
Karl Malone
part
shot.
Of his game. I was going to say the Karl Malone.
Ian Hardy free throw short. That was the second on Frazier, by the way.
Kind of a rough free throw there, huh?
Got the left-handed stroke, but that was barely hit the front
right.
rim.
He almost airballed it.
62% free throw shooters. Second one, front rim. This time he got the shooter's bounce, although I think you can only say that if you're actually a really good shooter. Right?
Was that the last game where somebody airballed, 7-footer airballed a free throw and then airballed a 3?
That was the Seward game.
The same 2 possessions.
That was definitely the Seward game.
There we go.
Frazier muscles it up and in on a feed from Bryant and 1. Mikey Frazier going to work. He's got 14 points and 4 rebounds, and Garden City's up by 12 with 14:40 to go.
I mean, when he's in the game, Garden City has a significant height advantage again. And if we could just get him bought into the idea of scoring at will from the block.
Nick, we need your plus minus. We got to get your metrics out. Frazier's plus minus, I don't have it in front of me, but it's got to be like a plus, I'd say, 14?
Today it's been really good. I heard Coach Nee on the way home from the Seward game, and I know he was frustrated because he was exactly right. Mike's plus minus at Seward, or here at Seward last week was probably pretty bad. But today I would say it's a very positive game for him.
Hardy foul in the middle of the floor by Garden City. That's on Deshaun Woods, his first. 14:24 to go second half, 53-40 Gardens Tech ball.
You've got to expect that he will continue to get in better and better condition, and as he does that, he should be able to play longer for stretches.
The last 2 games, Nick, he's looked really good. He didn't shoot the 3-ball well against Hutch, but that's okay. He was still efficient from the floor. He's rebounding the ball, and he played arguably the best defense that he's played since becoming eligible to start the second semester.
Sure, and he's still shooting over 40% from 3. I mean, I've given him a hard time, which probably is unfair. 41% from 3, he can make the shot. I mean, it's not purely faith at this point that he can make it.
Oh, he can shoot.
He definitely has a nice stroke. He definitely can make it. But if you could just get him bought into playing inside then out, as opposed to outside then in.
Missed 3 that time by Hardy, then a loose ball foul on Brown, so Garden City's got it back. Second foul on Brown. Blockbusters in possession, up 53-40. Frazier again works the post on the right side. Looked like he was hit by Richardson on a 12-foot jumper. No call, it's an air ball. It sails to Hardy for Northwest Tech. Rare miss for Frazier. Here's Warren, a Tech 3-pointer, right corner is short. He's their best 3-point shooter. Frazier grabs his 5th rebound. And Garden City off and running. Chavez in from the left wing. A right-handed layup attempt. And he's fouled. A little too strong on that, but he was bumped by Hardy. First on Hardy and the 15th foul on Tech. And a couple of free throws for Chavez, who has 14 points and 6 rebounds. You know what's disappointing if you're a Garden City fan? Chavez is going to be a one and done. He's a 4.0 guy. Comes from a family, I mean, parents are lawyers. If he wanted to go to MIT, he probably could, or Harvard. He came here because Iowa Western said they were going to sign him. And at the last second, the coach comes in and says, hey, we don't have a scholarship for you. He left there, Patrick Nee in the airport, makes a phone call, and he lands to League Chavez. Well, Chavez has been the best player maybe in the conference on a consistent basis. He leads the conference in scoring as he hits 2 free throws. And it's a 15-point lead for Garden, 55-40. But you're going to lose him after 1 year because he's a qualifier.
Yeah, one of those kids probably went under the radar because of his size. You know, he's not very big, and he doesn't have the quote-unquote Division I body, right? But the reality is the guy can play, he can shoot the heck out of the ball, and he does more than that. I think his game is more multi-dimensional than sometimes we give him credit for.
Warren missing a layup on the other end. Chavez the rebound, outlets to Samuels for Garden City, who then has the ball knocked away going up for a dunk attempt. So Garden City keeps it, 13-19 to go second half. Blockbusters up 15. Kyler Lamb, a lot of contact low right, throws it up, an air ball, no call. Eshawn Kennedy the rebound for Northwest Tech, ahead for Hardy, who flushes in from the left wing with a left-handed
hammer
jam.
And the flush. Earlier when he went up, I was thankful he missed because I'm like, I have to channel like Bill Raftery or Dick Vitale if he throws that down.
Onions! Well,
and you just have.
I had one Raftery reference all year long as Samuels is fouled low left for Garden City. It will never happen again.
I was going to say a few possessions ago, my perspective has so changed. When I was a young coach, let's play fast. I want to play fast. Like Mike D'Antoni style, right? Like, why did anyone? I was guilty of getting enamored by the Phoenix Suns.
The run and gun.
You just want to run up and down with reckless abandon. And now I look at, the games that I've done on both the men's and the women's side, and it's like, man, the best teams are not trying to run it down your throat, but they're opportunistic, right? When they have an opportunity to primary break, they do, and they finish, and they do it well. But it's not something that's the staple of their offense. It's just complements very solid half-court offense.
57-42 after 2 free throws made on one end. Mormont misses a layup on the other. Woods the rebound for Garden City. Marquez Terry is in the game for the first time. Terry missed several games with the flu. In fact, half the team had the flu. Terry, right corner 3, air ball for Garden City, and then Peerless Brown has to go off his shoulder, so the Bronxbusters keep the ball. But 57-42 to get you caught up to speed. This was a close game in the first half. It was 15-12. Tech was up 3, and then Garden City went on a 16-0 run. Tech didn't score for 6 minutes. Rockbusters went up by as many as 13. They were up 9 at the break. They've been up by as many as 15, which is where it's at now. They've got the ball right to left and a turnover on the inbounds. That's just their 5th giveaway. And Tech has it back left to right. Northwest Tech started the year, they didn't win a game in conference. And then all of a sudden they came and they knocked off Dodge City. Jake Ripple was taken over as the interim coach for the men. And then the next game, they upset Hutch in the scorebook game, where they came back from 18 points down. They just turned it over here. That's the 7th giveaway for Northwest Tech. But Mavericks have lost 20 out of their last 25. They've lost 18 out of their last 21 conference games. They had a streak going where they had not beaten an NJCAA opponent this year until their win over Dodge City. As Blake Chavez knocks one down right slot for Garden City. He's got 18 points.
Very much in the flow. That's what it looks like right there.
17-point Garden City lead. 59-42, 11:40 to go. Richardson with a head fake for Tech in the paint over Woods, no. Deshaun Woods tracks down the loose ball for Garden City. That's his 5th rebound. Garden pushing back from right to left, and Chavez whips a pass ahead for Lamb and throws it away.
Opportunistic break. That one felt a little forced, huh?
If we were just eyeballing and what's going to happen and handicapping the Bronxbusters now, postseason aspirations. Well, Garden City, if the season ended today, they would be at Independence. Independence just got absolutely demolished by Butler. Independence demolished Garden City. You know you're going somewhere on the road. You're not going to be at home if you can clinch a spot. Now, you win this game tonight. You've got Pratt on Wednesday, and then you've got Dodge City on Saturday. Here is Kennedy down the lane, and Woods partially altered that shot. Rebound comes off to Kyler Lamb for Garden City. Blockbusters have it, up 59-42, 9 minutes into the second half. Samuels across the lane. No look pass, right corner. Bryant, step back, 18-footer. Off the heel, and Peerless Brown, the Northwest Tech rebound.
Garden City, if you've noticed, really hasn't run anything. Going back to a little bit freelance. And
that drives you nuts, right?
Well,
you're the former coach. Brown fouled right
It does, but
slot.
I think it's interesting to me, and that is, I think I said this a couple of games ago, what appears to be the reason that happens for Garden City isn't necessarily like, well, why isn't the coaching staff calling anything? It appears to be more personnel-based, right? Like, so this particular group, I would imagine, is not entirely used to playing with each other, right? Like, this is an odd lineup that they have right now.
There's a foul. First, Marquez Terry commits a foul, and then Steven Samuels picks up a foul for Garden, his first team 6. You know, I'm looking at Keyshawn Kennedy. He's got that kinesio tape on his knees. I'm going to ask you because, you know, if you ever go to like a school counselor, they tell you, hey, tap your elbows and tap your wrists, and you'll regain your balance. I almost think that's a bunch of horse pooey, just like that kinesio tape that's supposed to, I don't know, fix a torn Achilles, as C.J. Rosser lays it in from the right block. Have you ever worn kinesio tape?
I have never worn kinesio tape. As somebody who teaches in the field,
Turnover, Osborne throws it away for Garden City.
I've read differing perspectives on it. I'm sure there are some trainers, physical therapists who would say that it absolutely works. I would probably find
it's a piece of tape. Like, I can get some Scotch tape and put it on. Is that supposed to work too? The only thing that's going to happen is going to rip off my leg hair. It's going to hurt. Kennedy drives in from the right wing and is fouled. I
think it was about 8 years ago, my grandmother bought a mattress that had magnets in it.
Okay.
To which she swears has taken away all her pain.
It's sucking the pain out.
I have absolutely positively found that a magnet mattress pad does absolutely nothing for your health.
You know what a magnet does do? If you put it next to your hard drive, it'll erase it. That it will do. Timeout on the floor.
Ruins your iPad.
Yes, 9:59 to go second half. Timeout on the floor. 59-44 Garden City. Tech ball when we come back on 99.9 The Rock. Steven Samuels committed that last foul before the break, which put the Blockbusters over the limit. Their 17th foul, and Kennedy at the line now hits the front end, and the second one is perfect, so 2 for 2. 9:59 to go here in the second half. 59-46. Garden City's lead is 13. If you're just tuning in, Blockbusters have been up by as many as 17. Woods 3 halfway down and then pops out left wing. C.J. Rosser, the Northwest Tech rebound. Mavericks have it with Kennedy, who's decked out in kinesio tape. Ross, who also has kinesio tape, and that's why he hit the straight-on 3.
I was going to say, is there any question why he didn't hit that shot? It's got to be the kinesio tape.
The kinesio tape. 7 straight for Tech, 9:26 to go. And all of a sudden, that 17-point lead is dwindled down to 10. Blockbuster ball right to left. Kyler Lamb at the top, good close out by Brown. Step back by Kyler and 3, he's off to the right. CJ Rosser, another rebound, is 4th. Here comes Tech on a 7-0 run. Rosser going at Woods, double clutch, Baker no from the right block. Floorboard to Mason Osborne in the left slot. Garden has it up 59-49. Blockbusters this year 4-8 at home. They have not had a home court advantage. There's a backdoor pass. Osborne to Woods and a two-handed throwdown in from the left wing. Beautiful pass by Mason Osborne.
Great execution of some pick and roll action there. Tech was very confused as to how they were supposed to be guarding it. And what happens is that neither of them did. And hence,
well, what do you know? A pick and roll results in 2. Kennedy, beautiful sidestep against Woods and then blows the layup for Northwest Tech. Kennedy is 3 of 6. Mason Osborne's 5th rebound. For the Blockbusters, 1 shy of tying a season best. Bryant left wing and is fouled, held on to by Fred Yana. And his first foul on Yana puts Northwest Tech over the limit.
There's lots of teams running pick and roll action, and you know the thing that I noticed is that I saw a clinic by Jeff Van Gundy about the pick and roll, and one of the things that I took from that and I notice now is so much of the success of it is predicated on the screening angle of the big. That being said, it seems as though sometimes the attention to that detail is being missed by players. You know, they don't screen at the right angle, and so it's really easy to stop said pick and roll.
Bryant hits 2 free throws for Garden City, 63-49 Blockbusters, and I think that works on really any time you set a screen, whether it's a flare or pin down, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you see so often when guys, first of all, half the time on a pick and roll, the guy that's supposed to roll is like in Antarctica. He like totally forgets to roll to the rim as Keyshawn Kennedy drives wing to baseline right for Tech, lays it in plus the foul. The lead is 12 for Garden City. But to your point as well, the angle definitely works. You just don't see a lot of well-executed pick and roll at this level.
No, because it's kind of become a throwaway. Hey, go set a ball screen. One of those details of the game that coaches, from the time players are young, they need to learn how to do it correctly. Jeff Van Gundy would say, don't flatten, but point your rear end towards one of the corners of the court. We used to tell our players, set it at a 45, right, 45-degree angle. When you do that, and then you have a point guard who knows how to play it, takes 2 dribbles off of it, you can't play it correctly, right? Like even if they're playing it well, they'll screw it up because the angle of the screener is tremendously important.
Northwest Tech just called a timeout. They have 4 remaining, alongside Nick Salazar, Mike Kilosoff from Conestoga Arena.
And no doubt, that's what they're talking about right now. Yeah. They're talking
about the screening
angles and setting the screen at a 45.
11-point Blockbuster lead. They've been up by as many as 17. Tech was up 15-12 in the first half, and then Garden City rattled off 16 straight points, and they haven't looked back since. Garden ball right to left. Chavez quarter court left, and the Garden City type painted in brown. One-on-one with Yana, goes right to the top of the key. Osborne now wing right, comes back left, defended by Brown. Tech in a man-to-man. Shot clock at 10 as Bryant curls to the top. Chest pass to Chavez. Open 3. He's got it, right corner. Second 3 for Chavez. He has 21 points. 14 here in the second half, and it's 66-52 Garden City.
When you move the ball, you move their bodies. And when you get the ball on the second, third, fourth side of the floor, what happens? You play with patience. Third side, fourth side of the floor, you get your best scorer wide open in a shot that he likes and is comfortable, and you make it. And that's good offensive basketball.
Fearless Brown with the answer on the other end. Left elbow jumper for Northwest Tech. 66-54 Garden. It's their ball right to left. Coming up on 7 minutes to go in the game. Ran a little pick and roll there. Samuels really didn't roll. Instead, they go up top for Spencer. Misfires a straight on 3. That's off. Rebound off to Keyshawn Kennedy. Spencer is now 0 for his last 12 as Brown hits again. A right wing 3 for Northwest Tech. And the lead is down to 9, 66-57. Brown is having a big second half.
He is. He's kept him in the game.
10 points for Brown. Spencer to the rim. Throws up an air ball, but he's fouled in the paint. You know, it's so odd to watch Traylon Spencer struggle the way he struggled. 0 for 10 against Hutch. 0 for 2 tonight. He came off the bench tonight. third foul called on Yana.
I thought
18
against
fouls.
Seward, he played with a lot of energy. I felt like he was one of their best options on offense and was just playing really well on defense, rebounding the ball. I was very impressed with him. And you're right, he sort of has kind of gone into the shadows tonight. We haven't really talked about him, haven't seen much of him.
You know, Chris Finnegan at the Bronxbuster Athletic Association luncheon today, head baseball coach, said one of his guys had the yips. It's almost like Traylon Spencer has the basketball version of the yips.
And if ever there was an objective metric to measure player performance, Chris Finnegan and his yips has to be it, right?
It's got to be it.
I mean,
68-57, both free throws good by Traylon Spencer.
and here I'm looking for a way to, looking for potential topics for my dissertation in sports analytics.
And you got it now.
It's got to be it, right? Like
that's your interview subject, by the way,
yips.
Chris Finnegan.
Here I wondered, how am I ever going to get to be full-time faculty on a 10-year track? It's got to be analysis of the yips.
Yes. And you need to come up with some scientific data to back that as bad pass on the near side of the floor by Peerless Brown, turnover tech.
I used to think that going to those luncheons, one of my favorite things about those luncheons was to hear Chris Finnegan talk about baseball, though, because I used to say, I feel like I know a lot about basketball, but to hear Chris talk about baseball is inspiring. He knows the game at a level that is just higher than a lot of other people, and certainly higher than most people I've been around. And I used to really, really enjoy hearing him talk.
Mikey Frazier hitting a wild hook shot in the paint, 70-57 Garden.
Of course, then you get Jim Boy Hash talking about rodeo, and then nobody knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, but then he comes out and he gives you a little comedic relief, too. Ian Hardy with a layup for Northwest Tech, 70-59 Garden City with 5.5 to go.
Short go, long go. I mean, there's some sort of difference in the goes.
I've been in this part of the country now for, more than 10 years, and I still don't know what the hell a long go is, but Ashley Emery.
I don't either.
Three. And everybody that's listening to me that are rodeo aficionados.
Right, they're getting very angry with
they
us
are.
because we're clearly, but I think we're city slickers, right?
No, we
you
are.
and I said this one time. I remember saying at a BAA luncheon, has it ever occurred to anyone that when Jim Boy is talking about goat tying, it's not a euphemism? No, he's actually talking about somebody tying a goat, and that's a sport.
Yeah, he's very literal. That I will say that as Hardy, nice layup for Northwest Tech, cuts it down to 9 again, 70-61 Garden, 4:45 to go second half. Bryant chest pass for Ashley Emery, joins Frazier, Spencer, and Chavez. Frazier whips it right wing for Chavez, extra pass Bryant, 5 to shoot. Dumps it for Spencer to the rim, that layup is no good, but a foul. And a couple of free throws for Traylon Spencer. Look,
another good quality offensive possession from Garden City, and they've got to make these free throws because, again, you and I have drifted away a little bit. So has the team offensively, as they've been stuck here for a little while now, and they're back to a single-digit game.
Traylon Spencer's looking up what goat tying is as we speak.
Right,
all right, Spencer hits the first of 2 free throws, and that's not a knock on.
Oh, of course not.
Like our rodeo people are going to make fun of us, and I'll tell you what. One of the most attended events that we have here at the college. If you ever get in April a chance, go to the college rodeo. You've been to the rodeo?
Yes,
right?
I have.
Spencer hit the first and the second. It's back to double digits, 72-61 Garden.
I used to really enjoy when I was in New Mexico. The state fair. One of the big draws is the rodeo, and I can't say that I was one of these people that went every year, but it was sure a lot of fun when I did go.
72-61 Garden City, 4.5 to go. Timeout on the floor on 99.9 The Rock. Alongside Nick Salazar, Mike Pilosoff, 4.5 to go second half, 72-61 Garden. Northwest Tech ball from left to right. They've been down by as many as 17. A couple of times they've cut it to 9, but they've not been able to get a stop on the other end. Tech beat Hutch and Dodge. In fact, coming into tonight, they've won 2 out of their last 3. This is a team that had not beaten an NJCAA school until they beat Dodge, as Warren misses a straight-on 3 for Tech. Derek Bryant, the rebound for Garden, finds Chavez, whose 3 is halfway down from the right corner, and the defensive rebound to Mormont for Northwest Tech. Back come the Mavericks from left to right. Warren cutting to the basket down the middle and fouled as he tumbles to the ground. Foul on Bryant. That's his 4th. Actually checked that they called that on Ashley Emery, his 3rd. 19 foul, 2 free throws for Reese Warren, who transferred from the University of Jamestown, an NAIA school. It's the first of 2 free throws. He's 71% on the season. He was a 2-year starter at Falcon High School in Colorado Springs. He was a second-team all-conference selection. He's got the right foot in front of his left and then kind of brings the feet together as he puts the shot up. Hits both free throws. And Northwest Tech calls timeout.
Where is the University of Jamestown?
I think that's is that in North Dakota or
I
South
have
Dakota?
no idea. I'm really wondering how big a culture shock it was to go from anywhere to Goodland, Kansas.
But they at least they're right off the interstate, as Tech calls a 30-second timeout. Does that really mean anything? I mean, you're from Albuquerque,
Right, like,
I'm from Vegas, what the hell does that mean?
I was just going to say, like, I mean, has anyone ever said, well, man, this is a crappy town, but hey, at least the interstate's close by.
You know, I always ask, Independence, football-wise, and obviously they've become a hotbed for recruiting because of Last Chance U. But when you get to Independence, you get to Coffeyville. There was a story that was once told to me that when they brought in recruits to Coffeyville, they never showed them the town. They went right to the stadium because, well, they didn't want them to see the town.
I've been to Independence a couple of times, and I don't know because I haven't gone to Independence from anywhere other than here, but I feel like when you drive into that town, it's like cemetery for like so long, and you're like, what else? Every person that's ever died in this part of the world must be buried because this is the biggest, longest cemetery I've ever seen in my life.
It's unbelievable. Missed jumper by Ashley Emery for Garden. Tech ball left to right, 3.5 to go. 72-63 Garden. It's still only a 3-possession game. Rosser at the top goes right around. Frazier rejected as he blows by him, and a foul low right. And Rosser, a couple of free throws, can make this a 7-point game, Nick, with 3:20 to go.
Yeah, just like you and I have gotten a little bit in the weeds over here in terms of what we're talking about. You know, and that's what's difficult in games like this. You know, that's one of those things where, again, on paper you say, well, Garden City's a better team. You know, they should win, and certainly they should. But to maintain concentration, I think, is one of those things as a coach that's really hard to work on, right? But basketball games are like a marathon, and your team has to be dialed in for the entire duration of that marathon, or else, like I said, you can't relax. You can't look at the scoreboard. You can't take a deep breath. You can't relax.
Jeff Sims had a great saying as Rosser hits the first of 2 free throws. He used to say that it's the hardest thing to ever do is when you build a big lead. Last year, 2 years ago at Independence, they were down 21-3 against the Pirates in football, and they came back and they won the game. And he said, I was never nervous about that. Now, if I was up 21-3, maybe a different story. But this is a 7-point game now as both free throws good by Rosser. 72-65 Garden with 3:10 to go. Blockbusters have it right to left. This was once a 17-point Garden City lead. Chavez at the top around a Frazier pick. Up top, Woods for 3. They need it. It's in and out. And a rebounding foul, I believe, against Garden City, and that's on Frazier. That's number 4 on Frazier. And the Blockbusters are over the limit. This is about to be a 5-point game.
Assuming he makes the free throws. Which,
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, you're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Now if he misses, which we want him to, I mean, I'm going to look like a total moron, but
He's 6 out of 10 for the year.
60% first free throw is good. Now, if he makes them, I look like a prophet. 72-66. Garden City now by 6 as that first one is good.
He hasn't shot very many of them is the thing.
Lefty's second free throw is good.
Quality possession here.
Here comes Talik Chavez the other way, wing to baseline right for Garden as their lead is down to 5 with 3 minutes to go, and he's fouled.
Curious decision to go into the press, right? You do all this work to cut it to 5, and then what? You're just anxious for it to be tied, so you're trying to generate a turnover. But again, Garden City, who was a little blah on offense, again, another very objective term.
What?
Completely blah on offense. Now you've given the best player 2 free throws.
80% free
Which
throws.
he certainly will more than likely make.
First one is good, ends a 6-0 Tech run, 2:57 to go, and the Bronc-Buster lead is 6, 73-67. Bronc-Busters were up by as many as 17 here in the second half. They were up 59-42 after a Chavez bucket with 11:47 to go. Tech has cut that down to 5. It's at 6 right now, and Chavez hits both free throws, 74-67 Garden City. 2:57 on the clock. Tech ball left to right with Hardy, Kennedy, Mormont, Warren, and Rosser. Guarding a man-to-man defense. They have done a good job switching defenses in this game. Rosser an angle right 3. Front rim no over Woods. Osborne comes flying in for the rebound for Garden City. Bronc-Busters back. Woods touch pass to Frazier, who lays it in. Woods was falling out of bounds, saved it right to Frazier on an overhead pass. And Mikey lays it in, 19 points and 5 rebounds. 76-67 now Garden City with 2:20 to go.
Good opportunistic break there from the Busters. Again, not trying to take your foot off the gas or anything, but just being intelligent about the shots that you take.
Kennedy had a wide open Hardy on the left wing. Instead he goes 1-on-4. He James Hardened it to the rim, and he misses the layup, and it goes out of bounds to Garden City.
James would have pulled up.
True. James
Shot
does have
from 40, yeah.
Well, either that or he does have a mid-range game. Or he'd be at the free throw, then he would have drawn a foul. Garden ball up by 9, 76-67. Chavez, little inside-out dribble, comes back out quarter court left. Chavez with 23 points, 16 here in the second half. He's knocked down 2 threes off a Woods pick. Frazier overhead pass, sideline right Bryant. Jogging dribble left. Woods finds Frazier on the block. Turnaround hook is money on a line drive. 21 for Frazier, and the lead back to 11, 78-67.
He's had a really good offensive game tonight. Again, it's good to see because I know that he had struggled there for a while.
Lead is 11. Rosser down the left lane line, blows the layup. Frazier's 6th rebound. Garden has it back, leading 78-67 with 90 seconds to go. Northwest Tech cut a 17-point lead down to 5. Remember, they came back from 18 to beat Hutch just a few games back. And Chavez is fouled quarter court left and gets a chance to add to his total. He's got 23 points, and what a run it has been for Talik Chavez.
You know, he has kinesio tape on his calf muscle.
Yes. You think it's working? Or
I think that I should look very closely at buying stock in the company that makes kinesio tape.
do you think you would teach better if you had kinesio tape at your
I don't know. I should try that. Maybe I'll kinesio tape up myself tomorrow.
This is Chavez's last handful of games. 21 against Barton, 31 against Pratt, 23 against Dodge, 20 against Colby, 31 against Barton. It's 9 threes, breaks the school record. 19 against Seward, and then 31 against Hutch. As he hits 2 free throws here, and it's 79. Check that, 80-67. He's got 25 points, 18 of the second half, and the Bronc-Busters up by 13. Here is Hardy going up for a jam, rejected from behind by Woods, and a foul.
That's an incredible offensive tear you're on when 19 is your low, right?
Yes. He has scored in double figures. You got to go all the way back. His last single-digit scoring game was a game they were down by 22 in the first half. That was against Midland back on November 23rd in Odessa. Hardy, free throw good. So you think about that. Let's count them up. 17 straight games in double figures.
Well, he's played very well. Again, very efficient. You know, you used the term volume shooter earlier. He has not been that at all. I mean,
he's been efficient. He
has been very efficient, and I can't recall him taking a shot that I thought was ill-advised, you know.
And Nick, he's almost got a double-double, 25 points, 7 rebounds. Now foul again the other way as Derek Bryant heads to the line. 80-69 Garden City with 1:01 to play. Sprinkle in 2 assists for Talik Chavez. anybody that gets this guy, whether it's a mid-major, I know TCU is talking to him. He's got a handful of offers from lower D1s. Whoever signs Talik Chavez, the first thing that, and he would probably tell you the same thing, the thing he needs to get better at is creating his own shot. Ryan hits 2 free throws. Once he does that, he doesn't, as you mentioned, doesn't have that big Division I body. But who cares? If you can shoot the ball, Steph Curry doesn't have an NBA body. He does more so now because he's worked on it, but when he came into the league, he was scrawny like me, and he made a living shooting threes as Rosser hits a layup for Northwest Tech. And then a foul on Tech with 51 seconds to go.
Number 30.
So whoever gets Talik Chavez, you are getting arguably one of the best shooters in junior college basketball. Josh Baker is a great shooter at Hutch as well. As Talik Chavez, a couple of free throws here, knocks down the first. In fact, you put those two on the same team, Baker who's shooting 50% from 3, Chavez who's shooting 45, it might be lights out. Chavez hits 2 free throws, and he's got 27 points.
Well, again, as we've talked about already this evening, positionless basketball, right? The idea having people that just fulfill roles. We talked about the playmaker role earlier in the women's game. You know, when at the end of my career, we had gotten away from the position as much as, hey, we need a playmaker on the floor, we need a rim protector on the floor, we need a forward who can score on the floor, but then everybody else needs to be a shooter.
Yeah.
Which we don't even call shooters, spacers, right? Because if somebody can consistently hit the 3, it completely stretches the defense and opens up driving angles and all sorts of things. And so the need for people to just stand on the floor and make open shots is incredibly important in modern basketball.
And now at Division I, where there's not a lot of great shooters if you think about right now in Division I basketball, is Kennedy knocks down both free throws, 84-73. Saw one last year at Purdue that was pretty good. He's now playing with the Boston Celtics. Woods to Frazier has his layup attempt blocked from behind. And out of bounds to Northwest Tech.
That's when you probably should have pulled out.
Yeah, you're up by a
Tried to milk away some clock.
Frazier and Chavez have combined for 48 points on 16 of 27 shooting. Reese Warren, 3-pointer left corner for Tech, is off. Mikey Frazier, another rebound, is 7th, and a Northwest Tech foul here in garbage time. Half a minute to go. So the Blockbusters, with this win, pretty much solidified themselves as a team that will make the Region 6 tournament. Again, doesn't mean they're going to be traveling somewhere on the east. Right now, again, tonight it would be Independence. Things can shift over the next 10 days. Frazier to the line for 2, knocks down the first. So here's the schedule in a nutshell. You've got Pratt Wednesday, Dodge Saturday. You still have Colby next week, and Barton close out in Great Bend.
So they have 2 winnable ones, followed by 2 that are challenging.
Yes. 31 seconds to go. Both free throws good by Frazier. Brown misfiring an angle right 3 for Northwest Tech. Ahead for Deshaun Woods, and a mere formalities. It comes flying in with a 2-handed jam.
With the flush. Right?
The jello is jiggling. Left wing 3, Ian Hardy for Northwest Tech. 88-76, 18 seconds to go. At some point you figure Garden City just pulls this out. Frazier from Woods flushes it home. Panning the assist stats now, 90-76.
Well, you got to be happy for Coach Nee, right? As frustrated as fans may have been for this streak, believe me, no one is more frustrated, as I said in the last game, than him. You're happy for him, his staff, and obviously their players, because let me tell you, it's a marathon, it's a grind, and when you're not winning, it is no fun.
Well, they win tonight. They're 17